When did you realize your parents cared more about trophies than your health? I'm 14 years old, and I'm about to die on a gymnastics mat. The vault runway stretches in front of me. My vision's already tunneling at the edges. I can hear Coach Patterson screaming from the sidelines, but her voice sounds like it's coming through water. Stick the landing, Doris. Stick it. I sprint. My legs feel like someone else's legs. The springboard launches me up, and I'm rotating. Hands hit the vault, pushing off, and then I'm airborne, and the world is spinning, and I absolutely know I'm not going to make it. My legs buckle the second I hit the mat. My body crumples sideways. My head bounces off the foam. Everything goes white for a second, then gray, then I'm staring up at the gym lights and they're so bright it hurts. Someone's blowing a whistle. The crowd's gasping. Footsteps running. My mom's voice cuts through everything else. Get up, Doris. Everyone's watching. Then nothing. I wake up to fluorescent lights that are somehow even brighter than the gym lights. There's an IV in my arm. Uncle Chen's holding my other hand. Hey, kiddo, he says softly. You're okay. You're in the ER. My parents are in the hallway. I can hear them through the curtain. Dad's voice is loud. She just needs rest. She's dehydrated. This is completely unnecessary. A woman's voice I don't recognize. Mr. Chen, your daughter collapsed unconscious. She has a documented spinal injury. This is absolutely necessary. I stare at the ceiling tiles and everything comes back in flashes. 18 months ago. Family dinner. Dad setting down his fork and looking straight at me. Doris is joining gymnastics at Lincoln High. Robert did football. She'll do this. I'd opened my mouth to say I wanted to keep swimming, but Mom was already nodding, already talking about how proud they'd be. First weigh-in. September, Coach Patterson walking around us with a clipboard, stopping at me, looking at my shoulders. Those swimmer shoulders are a problem we'll fix. You'll need to lose 12 pounds before season starts. The meal plan taped to our fridge, 800 calories, every portion measured, every bite logged. Mom watching me eat breakfast like she was a prison guard. That's enough yogurt, Doris. That practice in January where I threw up in the trash can next to the uneven bars because my back hurt so bad I couldn't breathe. Coach Patterson didn't even pause. Finish your routine first, then you can go to the bathroom. 6 weeks ago, Dr. Kim's office, the x-ray on the screen showing my spine. Stress fracture, L4 to L5. No gymnastics for 12 weeks minimum. Maybe longer. This is serious, Doris. Mom's hand signing the return to play waiver 3 days later. Regionals is in 9 days. She'll be careful. I blink and I'm back in the ER and Uncle Chen's squeezing my hand. They knew, I whisper. About my back. They knew. Uncle Chen's face goes very still. Knew what? The words come out flat. I'm too tired to feel anything. I've been training for 18 months. That's 540 days, 6 days a week, 4 hours a day. That's 1,296 hours. I'm counting on my fingers now, even though I don't need to. I've done this math before, in my head, at night when I couldn't sleep. They spent $6,000, fees, equipment, competition, travel. I lost 22 pounds. I went from the 52nd percentile to the 8th percentile for my height. Uncle Chen's staring at me. Dr. Kim said no gymnastics 4 times, 4 medical clearances. They ignored all of them. My voice cracks. I haven't been to swimming practice once. Not once in 18 months. I love swimming. Doris, I have a stress fracture that could have paralyzed me if I'd landed wrong today. I look at him. They knew about the fracture, Uncle Chen. Mom signed a waiver so I could compete anyway. His face goes white. Actually white. They knew about the fracture? I nod. The curtain yanks open. A woman in a white coat walks in. She's holding a chart. She looks at Uncle Chen, then at me. Mr. Chen, I'm Dr. Kim. I've been Doris's sports medicine physician for the past year. She pulls up a stool and sits down so she's at eye level with me. Doris, I've been documenting cases like yours for 6 months. 4 girls from Lincoln's gymnastics program with stress fractures, malnutrition markers, and ignored medical clearances. My parents push through the curtain. You will not speak to our daughter without... Dr. Kim doesn't even look at them. She keeps her eyes on me. I need your permission to make a mandatory report to Child Protective Services, tonight. I'm a mandated reporter, and I have documentation that shows your medical needs were knowingly ignored. Don't you dare, Dad starts. It's not optional anymore. Dr. Kim cuts him off, finally turning to face them. I have emails. I have your signatures on waivers contradicting medical clearances. I have growth charts showing sustained malnutrition. This is not a request. The room goes silent. Everyone's looking at me. I look at Uncle Chen. He's still holding my hand. He nods once. Just once. I look back at Dr. Kim. Yes, I say. Make the report. 3 days later, Mrs. Vance pulled me out of homeroom. Doris, you need to come with me. She wouldn't look me in the eye. Bring your things. I grabbed my backpack. My hands were shaking. Everyone was staring. We walked to the conference room in silence. There was a woman waiting inside. Black blazer, tired eyes, manila folder thick with papers. Doris, this is Ms. Rodriguez from Child Protective Services. She needs to ask you some questions. Mrs. Vance squeezed my shoulder once, then left. Ms. Rodriguez smiled. It didn't reach her eyes. Hi, Doris. You can call me Carmen. Have a seat. I sat. The chair was hard plastic, the kind that makes your legs fall asleep. I'm going to ask you some questions about your home life and your gymnastics training. You're not in trouble. I just need to understand what's been happening, okay? I nodded. Let's start simple. What does a normal day look like for you? I told her. Wake up at 5:30, protein shake for breakfast, 150 calories. School, snack at lunch, never the full meal. Mom picks me up at 2:15, practice from 3 to 7, dinner, 400 calories, weight on the kitchen scale. Homework, bed by 9. Every day, 6 days a week, Sundays off. What do you eat on Sundays? Same thing. Mom says rest days don't mean cheat days. Ms. Rodriguez wrote something down. And your training. Describe a typical practice. I walked her through it. Conditioning, drills, routines, corrections. If you fell, you ran stairs. If you complained, you did push-ups. If you cried, coach sent you home and you got extra conditioning the next day. Did you ever get injured during practice? Everyone gets injured. That's just gymnastics. What kind of injuries did you have? I listed them. Sprained wrist in October, pulled hamstring in November, the stress fracture in February, bruises pretty much everywhere, all the time. And your coaches knew about these injuries? Yeah, I mean, they saw me fall. Ms. Rodriguez leaned forward. The stress fracture? Your doctor said no gymnastics for 12 weeks, but you kept training? My throat got tight. My parents said I could compete if I was careful. Did you want to compete? I didn't answer. Doris, did you want to compete with a fractured spine? It's not that bad compared to Olympic training. The words came out automatic. I'd said them so many times I almost believed them. Those girls train through way worse. Ms. Rodriguez didn't write that down. She just looked at me. Can I see your back? I froze. It's okay. Mrs. Vance can come in if that makes you more comfortable. I just need to see. I stood up, turned around, lifted my shirt. The room went very quiet. You can put your shirt down. I sat back down. Ms. Rodriguez was writing fast now. Her pen scratched against the paper. One more question. When was your last period? My face went hot. I don't know, a while ago. Can you estimate? 2 months? 3? 7, maybe 8. She wrote that down too. Okay, Doris. Thank you for being honest with me. We'll be visiting your home this week to speak with your parents. You might not see me again, but someone from our office will follow up. Do you understand? I nodded. If you ever feel unsafe, you can call this number. She slid a card across the table. Anytime, day or night. I took the card. My hands were still shaking. They were waiting for me when I got home, both of them, sitting at the kitchen table like it was a business meeting, Dad's laptop open in front of him, Mom's eyes red from crying. I put my backpack down by the door. Sit, Dad said. I sat. Do you understand what you've done to this family? His voice was flat, the way it got when he was really angry, past yelling. Do you have any idea? I stared at the table. A CPS investigation, Doris. Do you know what that means? Do you know what people will think? Robert, please. Mom's voice cracked. No. Dad slammed his hand on the table. His laptop jumped. She needs to understand. We have sacrificed everything for you. Everything. Your mother quit her job to drive you to practice. I work 60-hour weeks to pay for this. And this is how you repay us? Mom was crying now, full on sobbing. After everything we've given you. After everything we've done. How could you do this to us? I didn't. We've already contacted an attorney. Dad pulled out a legal pad covered in notes. Gerald Shapiro, family rights specialist. He says we have a strong case. My stomach dropped. Dad read from the notes, his voice clipped and formal. Athletic discipline is not abuse. Parental rights include decisions about extracurricular activities. Cultural differences in parenting styles are protected. The state has no right to interfere with how we raise our daughter. Dad, you're not going back to school until this blows over. He closed the laptop. We've enrolled you in online classes. You'll do your schoolwork here where we can supervise. What? You heard me. No school, no friends, no opportunities to talk to these people behind our backs. Mom wiped her face. It's for your own good, honey. You don't understand what you've started. These people, they tear families apart. They take children away from loving homes. I looked at her, at the mascara running down her cheeks, at Dad's clenched jaw, at the legal pad full of defensive strategies. I'd said yes to Dr. Kim because I thought someone would finally help me. But looking at my parents' faces, I realized something. I'd just made everything so much worse. While I was stuck at home doing online classes, Lincoln High was falling apart. Principal Wu called an emergency meeting Tuesday morning. Coach Patterson, Athletic Director Morrison, the school nurse, Mrs. Chen, no relation to my family. Email from the district superintendent sitting in everyone's inbox. Investigate thoroughly and document everything. I only know this because Mrs. Chen emailed me later, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Mrs. Chen apparently walked into that meeting with a folder. Printed emails. 6 weeks worth. All from Dr. Kim. She put them on the table one by one. March 2nd, Dr. Kim notifies us of Doris Chen's stress fracture. Recommends immediate cessation of all gymnastics activities. March 9th, Dr. Kim follows up. Medical clearance formally denied. March 16th, Dr. Kim emails again asking if protocols were followed. March 23rd, Dr. Kim's final warning, quote, if this athlete continues training, the school will be liable for any resulting injuries. Principal Wu looked at Coach Patterson. You received all of these? Yes. And Doris Chen continued training. Coach Patterson's face went red. The parents insisted she could compete with modifications. They signed all the liability waivers. I adjusted her training to minimize impact on the injured area. Morrison jumped in. We followed all district protocols for return to play. Parents have the right to make medical decisions for their minor children. We documented everything. Then why did she collapse at regionals? Principal Wu's voice was quiet. Scary quiet. Nobody answered. Principal Wu closed the folder. Coach Patterson, you're on paid administrative leave pending the outcome of this investigation. Mr. Morrison, you're removed from all medical clearance decisions effective immediately. We're hiring an independent athletic trainer. Coach Patterson stood up so fast her chair fell over. This is insane. I've been coaching for 15 years. Those girls are like daughters to me. Then you should have protected them like daughters. Principal Wu opened her office door. We're done here. That evening, I got an email from Mrs. Chen's personal account. Doris, I'm so sorry I didn't push harder. I should have reported this myself weeks ago. I was afraid of overstepping. I was wrong. Please know that I see you and I believe you. Mrs. Chen, I read it 3 times. Then I deleted it before my parents could check my email history. 2 weeks later, Miss Rodriguez called. I was in the middle of an online biology quiz. Mom was in the kitchen. Dad was at work. I answered on the second ring. Doris, this is Carmen Rodriguez from CPS. I wanted to update you on your case. My heart stopped. Okay. We've completed our investigation. After interviewing your parents, visiting your home, and reviewing all available documentation, we're closing your case as unfounded. The world tilted sideways. What? Unfounded means we found no evidence of intentional harm or neglect. Your parents were cooperative throughout the process. Your home environment is clean and safe. You have adequate financial resources. Medical records show your parents sought treatment for all your injuries. While we have concerns about the intensity of your training schedule, it falls within the cultural context of high achievement expectations common in competitive youth athletics. I couldn't breathe. We are recommending family therapy to improve communication, but there's no basis for ongoing CPS involvement. I'm sorry, Doris. I know this isn't what you were hoping for. She hung up. I sat there staring at my laptop screen. The biology quiz was still open. Question 12. Describe the function of the mitochondria. My phone rang. Mom's number. I answered. Doris. Her voice was careful, controlled. Ms. Rodriguez just called us with the good news. We're very relieved this misunderstanding has been resolved. I said nothing. We're willing to let this go. Move forward as a family. Family therapy starts Thursday at 6 p.m. with Dr. Patel. Your father expects an apology, but we can discuss that later. Okay. See you at dinner. We're having chicken, 4 ounces, steamed vegetables. She hung up. I sat there for a long time. Then I used the browser on my laptop to access my email, the account my parents didn't know about, the one I'd set up 2 years ago for college research. I sent Uncle Chen a message from there. They closed the case. CPS said there's no evidence. I have to go back home. I have to apologize to Dad. He called me 5 minutes later. I answered fast and kept my voice low. Uncle Chen, they got away with it. They presented well. They always present well. And now I have to go home with them and pretend everything's fine. Uncle Chen was quiet for a long moment. Then, what if I told you there might be another way? That Saturday, Uncle Chen picked me up for what my parents thought was a dentist appointment. We drove to the public library instead. Dr. Kim was waiting in a study room on the 3rd floor. Door closed, blinds down. She had a laptop open and 3 folders stacked next to it. Doris. She stood up when we walked in. Thank you for coming. I sat down. Uncle Chen locked the door behind us. Dr. Kim didn't waste time. I have medical records for 4 athletes from Lincoln's gymnastics program, all within the past 2 years, all with stress fractures, all with malnutrition markers, all with medical clearances I denied that were ignored. She opened the first folder, a girl's name I didn't recognize, x-rays of a fractured vertebra, weight charts showing a 15-pound drop in 3 months. Second folder, another girl, stress fracture in her foot, notes about amenorrhea, no period for 6 months. Third folder, fourth folder, same patterns, same injuries, same ignored warnings. I've been trying to get the district to investigate for 8 months. I've sent emails to the superintendent. I've called the school board. I've filed formal complaints with the State Athletics Association. Dr. Kim's voice was flat, tired. Every time I hit a wall, they say they'll look into it. They say they're following protocols. Nothing changes. So why are we here, I asked. Because CPS closed your case, and I realized something. Individual cases are easy to dismiss, but a pattern? She looked at me. A pattern is harder to ignore. I need corroboration, other witnesses, documentation beyond medical files. Uncle Chen leaned forward. What about her teammates? The girls who quit? Dr. Kim pulled out a printed screenshot, a Facebook profile, Maya Torres, smiling in a photo from last year, wearing a Lincoln High gymnastics jacket. She's 16 now. Quit gymnastics after a stress fracture in her hip. Her parents pulled her from the program completely. Doctor. Kim slid the paper across to me. Do you know her? I stared at the photo. Maya had been a junior when I was a freshman. Quiet, intense on the apparatus, always nice to the younger girls. Yeah, I know her. She was always nice to me. Do you think she'd talk to us? I thought about the way Maya used to watch Coach Patterson during practice. The way her face would go blank when Coach criticized someone. The way she'd quietly help the younger girls with their form when Coach wasn't looking. Maybe, I said, if we ask the right way. Uncle Chen was already pulling out his phone. I'll find her parents' contact information. If they pulled her from the program, they might be willing to listen. Dr. Kim closed her laptop. We need to be smart about this. If your parents find out what we're doing, they'll shut it down, I finished. I know. She looked at me for a long moment. Are you sure you want to do this? Because once we start, there's no going back. I thought about the CPS report. Unfounded, no evidence of intentional harm. I thought about going back to online school tomorrow, to measured meals and silent dinners and pretending everything was fine. I thought about the 4 folders on the table, 4 girls with the same story as mine. I'm sure, I said. Uncle Chen made the call that night. Maya's mom answered. They talked for 20 minutes. I could only hear Uncle Chen's side, but I heard him say pattern and documentation and protect other girls. When he hung up, he looked at me. They'll meet us. Next Saturday, same library. Maya walked in with another girl I didn't recognize at first. Then I did. Lex Johnson. She'd been a sophomore when I was a freshman. She'd quit gymnastics halfway through last season. I remembered Coach Patterson telling us Lex didn't have the mental toughness for competitive athletics. Maya was taller than I remembered. Hair in a ponytail. She looked healthier, less hollow. Doris. She sat down across from me. I heard what happened at regionals. I'm sorry. It's okay. It's not okay. Lex sat down next to Maya. None of this is okay. Dr. Kim closed the door again. Thank you both for coming. I know this is hard. Maya pulled a notebook out of her bag. Black composition book. The cover was worn, pages dog-eared. I started keeping this after my stress fracture. She opened it. The pages were covered in cramped handwriting, dates, times, names. I told myself I was being paranoid, that I was just bitter about getting injured, but then I kept seeing things that didn't feel right. She flipped to a page marked with a sticky note. October 12th. Coach told Emma to skip lunch before weigh-in. Drink water only. Emma's 13. She turned the page. January 8th. Overheard Coach talking to Mr. Chen in her office. Door was cracked. She said Doris's medical clearance was overly cautious. Said the doctor was being dramatic. My stomach dropped. That was 2 months before regionals. Maya kept reading. March 3rd. Watched Doris throw up in the trash can next to the uneven bars during practice. She was crying. Coach saw it happen and didn't stop the session. Just told her to rinse her mouth and get back on the apparatus. I remembered that day. My back had hurt so bad I couldn't stand up straight. I'd thrown up from the pain, and Coach had said, "Athletes push through discomfort, Doris. Get back up there." There's more, Maya said quietly. A lot more. 2 years worth. Lex pulled out her phone. I have texts. She scrolled through her messages and turned the screen toward Dr. Kim. Coach Patterson's name at the top. Messages from last year. Lex, I noticed you using your inhaler 3 times during practice today. Champions push through. Try to limit yourself to once per session. Another message a week later. Your breathing issues are psychological. You're psyching yourself out. Control your mind and your body will follow. Another. If you need your inhaler during competition, you're not ready to compete. Lex's voice was tight. I have exercise-induced asthma. It's documented. I have a 504 plan, but she kept telling me I was faking it for attention. I started having attacks in the middle of routines because I was too scared to use my inhaler. Dr. Kim was typing notes on her laptop. Did your parents know? Not until I collapsed during a meet and had to go to the ER. Lex looked at the table. Coach called my mom and said I'd had an anxiety attack. My mom believed her. Uncle Chen leaned forward. We need to organize this, all of it, in a way that shows the pattern clearly. Dr. Kim nodded. I'm creating a shared folder, Google Drive, password protected. We'll upload everything, medical records, journal entries, text messages, emails, dates and descriptions for everything. She typed for a minute, then turned her laptop around. Link in gymnastics evidence. Maya stared at the screen. If we do this, there's no taking it back. I know, I said. Lex looked at me. Your parents will find out. I know. Dr. Kim closed her laptop. This is good documentation, but we need more. We need proof they knowingly ignored medical advice, something undeniable. Everyone looked at me. I thought about the parent-coach meetings, the ones where Mom and Dad and Coach Patterson talked about my training while I sat in the hallway. I thought about my phone, the voice memo app I'd used once to record a lecture when I'd forgotten my notebook. I can get that, I said. The recording started 3 days later. Mom scheduled a meeting with Coach Patterson to discuss my progress. I knew what that meant. They were going to talk about me like I wasn't there. I left my phone in my gym bag, tucked it into the side pocket with the voice memo app already recording. Then I sat in the hallway outside Coach's office and waited. Their voices carried through the door. Mom's voice first. Regionals is 9 days away. Can she compete with the fracture if we give her Advil? Silence. Then Coach Patterson. The medical clearance says no. My heart pounded. But, Coach's voice dropped lower. If you sign a liability waiver, that's between you and your daughter. I can't tell parents how to make medical decisions. Dad's voice. Sharp. Where do we sign? I heard papers shuffling, a pen clicking. Right here, Mr. Chen, and initial here. I sat there staring at the hallway floor. They were signing away my medical clearance. Right now, while I sat 10 feet away. The meeting ended 5 minutes later. I grabbed my bag and met them in the parking lot like nothing happened. That night, I uploaded the audio file to the shared drive. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely type the password. The second recording was worse. We were driving home from practice. I'd fallen 3 times on bars. My back was screaming. Coach had made me run stairs as punishment. I'd left my phone recording in the cup holder, covered it with a receipt. Dad started yelling before we even left the parking lot. Your brother never embarrassed us like this. Never. Do you understand how much we've spent this season? $4,000. $4,000, and you can't even stick a basic dismount. I stared out the window. Look at me when I'm talking to you. I didn't look. Something hit the dashboard. Hard. His hand maybe, or his phone. The whole car shook. You're lazy. That's your problem. You don't want it badly enough. Robert wanted it. He worked for it. You just expect everything to be handed to you. I started crying. Quiet. Trying not to make noise. Now you're crying. Perfect. That's really going to help you at regionals. Mom didn't say anything. She never did. I uploaded that one at midnight, sitting on my bedroom floor with the door locked. I had to stop the playback twice because I couldn't listen to it. I got careless. It was a Tuesday. I was doing online schoolwork on my laptop at the kitchen table. Mom was making dinner. Dad wasn't home yet. My phone buzzed. I picked it up to check. Text from Maya asking if I'd seen her latest journal uploads. I opened Google Drive to respond. Mom walked past, glanced at my screen. She stopped. What's that? I froze. She grabbed my phone out of my hand before I could lock it. Link in gymnastics evidence? She scrolled. Her face went white, then red. What is this? My brain went blank. It's just practice videos for review. Coach wanted us to film ourselves. This doesn't look like practice videos. She tapped on a folder. It asked for a password. What's the password? I don't remember. Doris, what's the password? I don't know. Coach set it up. She stared at me. I stared back. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it would crack my ribs. She tried scrolling more, clicked on different files. Everything was password protected. You'll get this phone back when you've earned our trust. She walked out of the kitchen. I heard her footsteps going upstairs, the door to her bedroom closing. I sat there staring at my laptop. Then I grabbed it and ran to my room, locked the door, opened my secret email on the browser. Emergency message to Uncle Chen. She almost found everything. I watched the screen. 3 minutes, 5 minutes. His response came through. Did she access the folder? No, but she knows something's there. I'm backing everything up to my computer tonight. If they delete your account, we still have copies. And I closed my laptop, pressed my back against the door, and tried to remember how to breathe. The phone incident changed everything. They pulled me out of Lincoln High completely. Full online homeschool. All my classes through a laptop at the kitchen table where Mom could watch. Phone confiscated every night at 8 p.m. sharp. Dad kept it in his nightstand. Locked drawer. No computer time unless Mom or Dad was in the room. They installed monitoring software that tracked every website I visited. Uncle Chen called to arrange a visit. Dad told him, not until family dynamics improve. I heard them arguing through the wall. Uncle Chen's voice getting louder. Dad hanging up. Training got worse. Dad's new logic. If you can train this hard, you were never really injured. Proves the doctor was wrong. 6 days a week. 5 hours a day now instead of 4. Conditioning until my legs shook. Routines until I couldn't lift my arms. Morning weigh-ins started every single morning, 6 a.m. Stand on the scale in the bathroom while Mom wrote the number in a notebook. She started logging every meal, every snack, every bite. The notebook went everywhere with her. I stopped talking, answered questions with yes or no, ate what they put in front of me, did my schoolwork, went to practice, came home, slept. 2 weeks in, I woke up at 2 a.m., had to pee. Walked past my parents' bedroom. Their door was open. Both of them asleep. Mom's iPad was charging on the kitchen counter. I stood there staring at it for a full minute. Then I picked it up. Logged into my secret email through the browser. Hands shaking so hard I mistyped the password 3 times. Email to Dr. Kim. They took my phone. I can't collect more evidence. I'm sorry. I hit send. Started to close the browser. Her response came through in 30 seconds. She must have been awake. You did enough. I'm taking this to the state athletics board. I read it twice. Then I deleted the browser history. Cleared the cache. Put the iPad back exactly where I'd found it. Walked back to my room, got into bed, and waited. 3 days later, the house phone rang during dinner. Dad answered. Hello? His face changed. Who is this? Pause. We have no comment on that. Longer pause. His jaw clenched. I said no comment. He threw the phone across the room. It hit the wall. The screen shattered. Plastic pieces scattered across the floor. Mom dropped her fork. Robert, what? A reporter. His voice was shaking. From the newspaper. Asking about allegations of athlete abuse at Lincoln High gymnastics program. The room went silent. They both turned to look at me. Mom's face was white. Dad's was red. What did you do? Mom whispered. I said nothing. What did you do? I looked at my plate. Half-eaten chicken, steamed broccoli, 380 calories logged in Mom's notebook. Mom looked at me like I'd just set fire to our entire family. Maybe I had. The article went live on Thursday morning. I found out because Mom's phone wouldn't stop buzzing during breakfast. She picked it up, stared at the screen. Her face went gray. Robert, you need to see this. Dad took the phone, read for 30 seconds, set it down very carefully. Questions raised about safety culture in Lincoln High athletics. He read the headline out loud, flat voice. An athlete was hospitalized at a regional competition after coaches allegedly ignored medical clearance. State Athletics Board confirms investigation underway. They didn't use my name, but they didn't have to. Mom's phone buzzed again. Then it didn't stop. Facebook notifications, text messages, voicemails. Dad unplugged the house phone. We're not answering anything today. The article spread fast. By lunch, it was all over the local Facebook mom groups. I know because Mom made the mistake of opening Facebook at the kitchen table. Her face went white. There are 200 comments. Half the comments were supportive. This is horrifying. These poor girls. I always thought that program pushed too hard. Thank God someone's investigating. The other half were defending the program. These parents are just bitter their kids couldn't handle elite athletics. And Coach Patterson is a saint. This is a witch hunt. The Lincoln High Booster Club parents started a group chat. Mom wasn't in it, but 3 of her friends forwarded screenshots. We need to protect our program. This is going to destroy our chances at state. Does anyone know which family talked to the reporter? That afternoon, I got Instagram DMs. My account was private, but people found me anyway. Anonymous account. You just destroyed everyone's chances at state. Hope you're proud. Another anonymous account 10 minutes later. Attention-seeking bitch. Nobody forced you to do gymnastics. I closed Instagram, deleted the app, sat on my bed staring at the wall. Mom knocked on my door. The district spokesperson gave a statement. They said they take athlete safety seriously and are cooperating fully with the investigation. I said nothing. People are choosing sides, Doris. You need to understand that. I understood perfectly. 2 days after the article, my parents hired a PR consultant. Her name was Patricia. Late 50s, gray blazer, She talked like a corporate training video. She sat at our kitchen table with a laptop and a stack of printouts. "We need to control the narrative," she said, looked straight at me. "Doris, you'll need to make a statement." She slid a paper across the table. I read it. "My parents always prioritized my health. Any misunderstandings were due to communication gaps between medical professionals and our family. We appreciate the concern but ask for privacy during this difficult time." I looked up. "I'm not signing this." Dad's hand slapped the table. "This is destroying my reputation at work. My manager saw the article. Do you understand what that means?" Mom was crying again. She'd been crying on and off for 2 days. "The Huangs won't even look at us at church anymore." Mrs. Huang walked past me in the parking lot like I was invisible. Patricia's voice stayed calm, professional. "Doris, this statement protects everyone, including you. It's a lie. It's damage control." I pushed the paper back across the table. "I'm not signing it." Dad stood up so fast his chair fell over. "You will sign it or—" Patricia held up her hand. "Mr. Chen, let's take a breath. We can revisit this, but we never did. Because the court-mandated family therapy started that Thursday. Dr. Patel's office smelled like lavender, fake plants in every corner, beige couch, box of tissues on the coffee table. She was younger than I expected, maybe 40, warm smile, calm voice. Thank you all for coming. I know this is difficult. Let's start by establishing that this is a safe space. Everything said here stays here." Dad launched in immediately. "I think it's important to understand the cultural context. My wife and I are second-generation immigrants. We were raised with high standards. Excellence isn't optional in our family. It's expected." Dr. Patel nodded. "Tell me more about that." He talked for 15 minutes, about his parents working 3 jobs, about how Robert Jr. earned a football scholarship, about how success in America means pushing harder than everyone else. Mom cried through most of it. "We only wanted the best for you, Doris. We thought we were helping." Dr. Patel turned to me. "Doris, how do you feel about what your parents are saying?" I stared at the fake plant in the corner. "Doris? Nothing." "It's okay if you're not ready to talk yet." The sessions continued every Thursday. Same pattern. Dad explaining, Mom crying, me silent. Week 3, Dr. Patel asked to speak with me alone. My parents went to the waiting room. The door closed. Dr. Patel's voice got quieter, gentler. "Doris, I need to ask you something. Do you feel safe at home?" I looked at her. Safe was a complicated word. "They haven't hit me," I said. She wrote something down. "That's not what I asked." I went back to staring at the fake plant. While my family was falling apart in therapy, Lincoln High was covering its ass. Coach Patterson got officially placed on unpaid administrative leave. Athletic Director Morrison received a written reprimand and got demoted from all athletics oversight. The district sent a memo to every coach in the system. Review and acknowledge updated safety protocols. New rule. Any athlete denied medical clearance now required 3 signatures before they could return. Doctor, parent, independent athletic trainer. It looked good on paper, but Dr. Kim forwarded me an email someone had leaked to her. Internal message from the district superintendent to all Lincoln High administrators. Ensure all documentation shows protocols were followed. Not ensure protocols are followed. Ensure documentation shows they were followed. The Booster Club parents weren't backing down either. They organized a petition, collected 200 signatures in 3 days, submitted it to the school board meeting. Stop the witch hunt against Coach Patterson. Our program has produced state champions. These allegations are destroying our athletes' futures. Mom read the petition online and cried, again. Then Coach Patterson hired a lawyer. She sent a letter to the district, threatened a defamation suit, said the investigation was damaging her reputation and career without cause, said she'd followed all proper protocols and any injuries were the result of parental decisions, not coaching negligence. The letter got leaked too. Made its way to the same Facebook mom groups. Half the comments supported her. She's being scapegoated. Parents are responsible for their own kids. The other half were furious. 4 stress fractures in 2 years isn't a coincidence. Stop protecting abusive coaches. Dr. Kim called me from a blocked number. I answered on Mom's iPad in the middle of the night. "They're circling the wagons," she said. "But we have the evidence. They can't paper over this forever." I wanted to believe her, but watching my parents hire PR consultants and Coach Patterson hire lawyers and the district rewrite their documentation, I wasn't sure anymore. The nightmares started a week after the article. I'd wake up choking, gasping for air, sheets soaked through with sweat. In the dreams, I was always falling, vault after vault after vault, never landing right, coach screaming, my parents in the stands shaking their heads. I stopped sleeping more than 3 hours a night. Food became impossible. Not because of the meal plan anymore. Mom had actually loosened up on portions after Dr. Patel suggested it in therapy. But I couldn't eat. My stomach rejected everything. Toast made me nauseous. Yogurt made me gag. The only thing I could control was what went into my body, so I controlled it. I stopped eating almost entirely. Morning weigh-ins became a nightmare. Mom's face getting more worried every day as the numbers dropped. 105 pounds, 103, 101, 98. My hair started falling out in clumps. I'd find it on my pillow in the morning, in the shower drain, stuck to my clothes. My back pain was constant now. Didn't matter if I was training or lying down, just constant aching that shot down my legs when I moved wrong. I was taking ibuprofen like candy. 6 pills a day, 8, 10. Mom finally called Dr. Kim for a follow-up appointment, required by the court-mandated therapy. Dr. Kim took one look at me and her face went white. "Doris, step on the scale, 97 pounds. She pulled out her stethoscope, checked my heart rate, my blood pressure, looked in my eyes. "When did you last eat a full meal?" I couldn't remember. "Doris, you're malnourished. Severely. I need to hospitalize you." "No. This isn't optional. They'll say I'm doing it for attention." My voice came out flat. Dead. They'll say I'm trying to make them look bad for the investigation. Dr. Kim sat down, put her face level with mine. I don't care what they say. This is medical neglect. You're not training anymore and you're still deteriorating. That tells me everything I need to know. She turned to Mom, who was sitting in the corner. Silent. Mrs. Chen, your daughter needs inpatient treatment, nutritional rehabilitation, psychiatric evaluation. If you don't consent, I'm calling CPS again, and this time I'm pushing for emergency removal. Mom started crying. Again. Dr. Kim opened her laptop and started typing. Fast. I'm documenting this phase as deterioration continuing despite removal from sport. This isn't about gymnastics anymore. This is about a child who's been traumatized to the point where she's physically shutting down. She looked at me. Doris, I'm not giving up on you, even if you've given up on yourself. I stared at the exam table. I hadn't given up on myself. I just didn't know how to keep fighting. Robert Jr. came home for Thanksgiving break on a Tuesday night. I heard his car pull into the driveway, heard Mom cry out with relief, heard Dad's voice getting loud with excitement. I stayed in my room. 5 minutes later, Robert knocked on my door. Doris? Can I come in? I didn't answer, but he came in anyway. He stopped in the doorway. Just stopped. Stared at me. What happened to you? I was sitting on my bed. Hadn't changed out of my pajamas all day. Hair unwashed for 3 days. I probably looked like a ghost. I'm fine. You're not fine. He sat down next to me. Doris, you look like you're dying. Something in his voice broke me. I started crying. Couldn't stop. Told him everything. The recordings, the evidence folder, the article. The therapy sessions where Dad talked over me. The weight loss. The nightmares. Dr. Kim threatening to hospitalize me. Robert just listened, didn't interrupt once. When I finished, his jaw was clenched so tight I could see the muscle jumping. Come on. He stood up. We're going downstairs. Robert, don't. Now. We walked into the dining room. Mom and Dad were setting the table for dinner. Dad looked up and smiled. There you are. We were just about to. She looks like she's dying. Robert's voice cut through the room. What is wrong with you? Dad's smile disappeared. Robert, you don't understand the pressure we're under. The investigation. I don't give a shit about your investigation. Look at her. Robert pointed at me. She's 97 pounds. Her hair is falling out. She can't sleep. And you're worried about your reputation? Mom started crying. Those liberal professors poisoned your mind. You used to understand. No. Robert's voice got louder. You poisoned this family. You turned Doris into your second chance. You ignored doctors. You signed waivers over a fractured spine. And now you're acting like victims because people found out. Dad stood up. You will not speak to us like, I'm taking her with me. Robert grabbed my hand. Come on, Doris. You will not. Watch me. I followed Robert to the front door, grabbed my backpack. Mom was screaming. Dad was yelling about disrespect and family loyalty. Robert opened the passenger door of his car. Get in. I got in. We drove for 2 hours. Didn't talk. Just drove. Uncle Chen's house was dark when we pulled up. Robert knocked anyway. Uncle Chen opened the door in his bathrobe, took one look at us. You're both staying here tonight. Robert called Dr. Kim from Uncle Chen's landline, put it on speaker. She answered on the first ring. Hello? Dr. Kim, this is Robert Chen, Doris's brother. I just saw her for the first time in 3 months. His voice cracked. What do you need from me? I'll testify. I'll do whatever. I need you to document what you saw tonight. Dates, observations, direct quotes from your parents, everything you remember. I can do that. Good. Because this is bigger than one family now. I need every piece of evidence I can get. Robert looked at me. I was so focused on my own stuff. Football, college applications, getting out. I didn't realize what they were doing to you. I'm so sorry, Doris. I couldn't speak, just nodded. Doctor, Kim's voice came through the speaker again. Robert, I'm glad you called, because I need to tell you both something. We waited. 2 more families from the gymnastics program contacted me after seeing the article. They were waiting to see if anyone else would come forward. They were scared to be the first. But now they're ready. My heart stopped. I have 7 cases now. 7 girls with the same pattern. Stress fractures, malnutrition, ignored medical clearances. The state board is opening a formal investigation, not just into Lincoln High, into the entire program structure. Uncle Chen sat down next to us. Dr. Kim kept talking. But I need you to understand something. This is about to get much worse before it gets better. The school will fight back. Your parents will fight back. There will be lawyers and depositions and people trying to discredit all of you. Are you ready for that? Robert looked at me. I thought about the 7 girls. 7 families who'd been through the same thing. I thought about the Instagram messages calling me an attention-seeking bitch. I thought about my parents hiring PR consultants and writing fake statements. I thought about Coach Patterson threatening defamation suits. And I thought about the recordings in the evidence folder, the medical files, Maya's journal, Lex's text messages. Yes, I said, I'm ready. The second article dropped 2 weeks later. I was at Uncle Chen's house eating breakfast when my phone buzzed. Robert had given me his old one so my parents couldn't track me. Maya's text. Have you seen it? She sent a link. State Athletics Board investigates Lincoln High gymnastics. Multiple families report similar concerns. I read it twice. 7 families had come forward. 7. All with documented complaints filed over the past 2 years. The article laid it out like evidence at a trial. 4 stress fractures in 2 years. Weight requirements that left athletes malnourished. Medical clearances denied and ignored. Emails from Dr. Kim to school administrators warning about safety concerns. All dated, all time-stamped, all ignored. There was a quote from an unnamed source that I knew was Dr. Kim. This isn't about one coach or one family. It's systemic. Robert read over my shoulder. Holy shit. Uncle Chen set down his coffee. This is good. This is what we needed. My phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Maya. Lex. 3 girls I didn't know adding me to a group chat. We did it. The article got shared 2,000 times in the first hour, then 5,000. By noon, local TV news was calling Dr. Kim asking for interviews. The district superintendent issued a statement by 2 p.m. We are conducting an independent review of our athletics programs and safety protocols. We take these allegations seriously. That evening, a TV news van parked outside Lincoln High. They interviewed parents in the parking lot. The reporter stood in front of the gym entrance talking about patterns of abuse in youth athletics. I watched the segment on Uncle Chen's laptop. They didn't use my name, but they showed the gymnastics facility, Coach Patterson's empty office, the apparatus where I'd trained for 18 months, and they interviewed 2 parents whose daughters had quit the program, parents I'd never met. We thought our daughter was just fragile, one mother said, but now we're realizing she was being hurt. I closed the laptop. Robert looked at me. You okay? I nodded, but I wasn't sure if I was ready for what came next. The community tore itself in half within 48 hours. The Booster Club parents organized. Created a Facebook event, Support Coach Patterson Rally. Their statement read, "These parents are trying to ruin our program because their daughters couldn't handle elite athletics. Coach Patterson has produced state champions. This is a witch hunt." But 3 families quietly pulled their daughters from gymnastics that same week. No announcements, no drama, just gone. The school board meeting was standing room only. I watched the live stream from Uncle Chen's couch. Robert sat next to me. Uncle Chen stood behind us with his arms crossed. The camera showed rows of parents, Booster Club members wearing Lincoln High colors on one side, other parents on the opposite side. Clear division. Public comment period started. A woman approached the microphone, hands shaking. My daughter is 13 years old. She trained through 2 stress fractures because she was afraid of disappointing her coach. 2, she couldn't walk without pain for 6 months. And I let it happen because I thought that's what elite athletics looked like. Her voice cracked. What are we doing to these girls? Applause from half the room, silence from the other half. Next parent, man in a Lincoln High hoodie. Stop coddling these kids. My generation played through pain and we're fine. This is what builds character. You want to raise winners or victims? Louder applause from the Booster Club side. Back and forth for 2 hours. No middle ground, just battle lines. I closed my laptop. My Instagram DMs wouldn't stop. Half supportive. Thank you for speaking up. You saved my daughter. We believe you. Half hateful. You destroyed this program for everyone. Selfish bitch. Hope you're proud of yourself. I stopped reading them. Then one came through that made me stop. Emma Chen. Not related, just same last name. 15 years old. I remembered her. Quiet girl. Amazing on beam. Coach told me to lose 10 pounds before state or I'm off the team. I don't know what to do. My parents said I need to listen to her. But I'm scared. Did you feel like this? I stared at the message for a full minute, then I typed back. Yes, I felt exactly like this. Do you have a doctor you trust? 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Yeah, Dr. Kim. She's been watching my weight. Tell her what coach said. She'll help you. I promise. What if my parents get mad? I thought about my parents. The lawyers, the PR consultant, the family therapy sessions where they explained and justified and never actually apologized. They might. But you're more important than their feelings. She didn't respond. I hoped she'd listen. I hoped someone would protect her better than anyone protected me. The 6th therapy session was different. Uncle Chen and Robert Jr. were there, sitting on either side of me. Dr. Patel had requested it. My parents sat across from us. Mom's eyes were already red. Dad's jaw was tight. Doctor. Patel didn't waste time with small talk. She opened her laptop and turned it toward my parents. A timeline filled the screen. Medical records on one side, training logs on the other. February 8th, Dr. Kim diagnoses stress fracture, recommends 12 weeks no gymnastics. February 9th, Doris trains 6 hours. She scrolled. February 15th, Dr. Kim sends follow-up email to school nurse and athletic director. February 16th, Doris trains 6 hours. She kept scrolling, the pattern repeated, medical warnings ignored, training continued. March 2nd, Dr. Kim formally denies medical clearance. March 3rd, Doris trains 6 hours. Dad shifted in his seat. We were following coach's modified training plan. Dr. Patel didn't respond. She pulled out her phone instead, tapped the screen. Mom's voice filled the room through the speaker. Do whatever it takes to get her ready for regionals. Text message, sent to Coach Patterson 2 weeks before I collapsed. Mom's face went white. Doctor? Patel tapped again, Dad's voice this time, from the car recording. Your brother never embarrassed us like this. We've spent $4,000 this season. The sound of something hitting the dashboard. My quiet crying in the background. Dad stood up. Turn that off. Sit down, Mr. Chen. You have no right. I have every right. This is evidence of medical neglect and emotional abuse. Sit down. Dad sat. Dr. Patel closed her laptop, looked directly at my parents. Your defenses are crumbling, so let me hear the real reason. Why did you do this? Silence. Robert, why did you ignore 4 medical clearances? Dad's voice came out tight. We were trying to teach discipline. Athletes push through discomfort. That's how you build character. You weren't building character. You were breaking your daughter's body. Mom started crying, really crying, the kind that made her whole body shake. I just wanted her to be as good as Robert, her voice barely above a whisper. I wanted her to have what I never did. She looked at me for the first time in weeks. I thought I was helping you. I thought if you could just win something big. If you could just prove yourself. My mother told me I'd never be good enough. I quit figure skating because she said I wasn't talented enough to go anywhere, and I spent my whole life wondering what if. I didn't want you to feel that way. The room went silent. I looked at my mother, at her shaking hands, at the tears running down her face. But you made me feel exactly that way. Mom flinched like I'd hit her. More silence. Dr. Patel leaned forward. Linda, Robert, I need to ask you directly. Do you understand that what happened to Doris constitutes medical neglect? Long pause. Nobody moved. Mom whispered. Yes. Dad's voice came out flat. Defeated. We made mistakes. Dr. Patel nodded slowly. This is the first honest thing you've said in 6 weeks. The state athletics board hearing was held in a conference room that smelled like stale coffee and stress. Uncle Chen and Dr. Kim sat in the back row as observers. I wasn't allowed to attend, too young. But Robert texted me updates every 10 minutes. Coach Patterson sat at the front table with her lawyer. Gray suit, hair pulled back. She looked smaller than I remembered. The board chair, a woman in her 60s with reading glasses, opened a folder. Coach Patterson, you've been coaching gymnastics for 15 years. Is that correct? Yes. And you hold current certifications in youth athletic training and safety protocols? Yes. Then you understand the legal and ethical obligations regarding medical clearances for student athletes. Coach shifted in her seat. Parents have the right to make decisions about their children's training. I always deferred to medical professionals, but ultimately parents know their children best. The board chair pulled out a stack of emails, slid them across the table. These are 4 emails from Dr. Sarah Kim, sent between February 8th and March 23rd of this year. All of them state explicitly that Doris Chen has a spinal stress fracture and should not participate in gymnastics training. Did you receive these emails? Yes. Yet practice attendance logs show Doris Chen trained 6 days a week, 4 to 6 hours per day, until her collapse at regionals on April 15th. Explain that. Coach's lawyer leaned forward, but Coach spoke first. Her parents signed liability waivers. They took full responsibility for any risks. The board chair removed her glasses, looked directly at Coach Patterson. Medical clearance isn't overridden by parental waivers. You're a certified coach, you know this. Coach's face went red. She looked at her lawyer. He said nothing. Another board member, a younger man with a stack of papers, spoke up. We have testimony from 3 other athletes describing similar situations. Medical advice ignored. Weight requirements enforced through severe meal restrictions. Punitive treatment for reporting injuries. Is this accurate? These girls were training at an elite level. Some discomfort is normal in competitive athletics. We're not talking about discomfort. The man's voice got sharper. We're talking about stress fractures, malnutrition, amenorrhea in teenage athletes. One girl hospitalized for dehydration after you instructed her to skip lunch before weigh-ins. Coach Patterson opened her mouth, closed it. Her lawyer stood up. We need a recess to consult with our client. The board chair nodded. 15 minutes. Same, Robert texted me. She's rattled. They have her on record. I sat on Uncle Chen's couch staring at my phone, waiting. The court said I had to go back to my parents' house until the hearing concluded. I moved back in on a Tuesday. Nobody spoke. We moved around each other like ghosts. Mom cooked meals nobody ate. Dad stayed late at work every night. I did my online schoolwork at the kitchen table in silence. Mom stopped eating too. I noticed. She'd put food on her plate and push it around. Same thing I'd been doing for months. Robert Jr. came home for winter break 3 days later. The house felt less suffocating with him there. Late that night, I couldn't sleep. Lay in bed staring at the ceiling. Heard voices downstairs. Mom and Dad arguing in the kitchen. I got up. Pressed my ear to my bedroom door. Mom's voice. Quiet but desperate. Maybe we should just settle. Let her go live with Uncle Chen permanently. And admit we were wrong. Dad's voice sharp. Do you know what that means for us? For our reputation? I don't care anymore. Mom's voice broke. I don't care about any of it. I just want her to stop looking at me like she hates me. Silence. Then Dad. She's our daughter. We don't just give her away. We already lost her. My chest got tight, really tight, like someone was sitting on it. I tried to breathe. Couldn't. The room started spinning. I stumbled toward my door, made it to the hallway. Vision going dark at the edges. Bathroom. I needed the bathroom. I crashed into the doorframe, slid down to the floor, gasping. Chest locked up. Can't breathe. Can't breathe. Can't breathe. Robert's door opened. He ran over, dropped to his knees. Doris. Doris, look at me. I couldn't speak, just shook my head. You're having a panic attack. You need to breathe. In through your nose, out through your mouth. I tried. Nothing. I can't do this anymore. The words came out strangled. I can't be here. Robert pulled out his phone, called Uncle Chen. Come get her. Tonight. Now. Uncle Chen's car pulled up at midnight. Dad met him at the door, arms crossed. You can't just take her. Watch me. Uncle Chen's voice was steel. Or I call the police and report current conditions. Panic attacks, malnutrition, emotional abuse. Your choice. Mom appeared behind Dad, face blotchy from crying. Let her go. Linda. Let her go. Mom screamed it. Actually screamed. We already lost her. Don't you see that? I grabbed my backpack, shoved clothes in, toothbrush, phone charger, my journal. Robert carried my bag to Uncle Chen's car. I didn't look back. We drove in silence for 20 minutes. Then Uncle Chen spoke. Dr. Kim got the state board to expedite their ruling. Decision comes next week. I stared out the window at dark highway. What if they say the program was fine? What if I did all this for nothing? Uncle Chen glanced at me. Then we kept you alive. That's not nothing. Robert reached over from the back seat, squeezed my shoulder. I closed my eyes. 3 days later, the house phone rang at Uncle Chen's. He answered, listened. His face changed. He hung up, looked at me. That was Principal Wu. The State Athletics Board reached their decision. Emergency school board meeting scheduled for Friday night. Public's invited to attend. He paused. She said we should be there, all of us. His voice was careful, measured. She sounded tired, Doris. Really tired. But she said something else. What? She said, it's time. Friday night, the Lincoln High Auditorium was standing room only. Uncle Chen, Robert, and I sat 3 rows from the front. Dr. Kim sat next to us. Maya and Lex were 2 rows back with their parents. My parents sat on the opposite side, separate, alone. The State Athletics Board panel sat at a long table on the stage. 5 people, folders stacked in front of them. The board chair, the woman with reading glasses, tapped the microphone. Good evening. We're here to present the findings of our investigation into the Lincoln High gymnastics program. The room went silent. She opened the first folder. After reviewing medical records, practice logs, email correspondence, and testimony from 7 families, we've identified a pattern of medical neglect across multiple athletes. Stress fractures ignored, weight requirements enforced through meal restrictions, medical clearances denied and overridden by coaching staff. A parent in the booster club section shifted in their seat. The board chair kept reading. We've also identified a systematic failure of oversight protocols. School administrators received multiple warnings from medical professionals and failed to act. Athletic directors prioritized competitive success over athlete safety. She looked up. Our recommendations are as follows. Coach Patterson's teaching license is permanently suspended. She is ineligible for future coaching certification in this state. Gasps. Angry muttering from the booster club side. Athletic director Frank Morrison receives an official reprimand and is removed from all medical clearance decisions. The Lincoln High gymnastics program is suspended pending implementation of new safety protocols. All sports programs district-wide will be required to employ independent athletic trainers with authority to override coaching decisions regarding injured athletes. The board chair closed her folder. The school board will now vote on whether to accept these recommendations. Principal Wu stood. Motion to accept state recommendations. Another board member. Second. They went down the line. 6 yes votes. 1 number. The gavel came down. Motion passes. The auditorium erupted. Half the room applauded. Standing ovation. Parents crying with relief. The other half shouted. Angry. Betrayed. A booster club parent stood up, red-faced, shaking. You just destroyed a championship program. Years of work. Gone. Because a few girls couldn't handle the pressure. Another parent stood, a woman I didn't recognize. She was crying. No, the adults running it destroyed it. My daughter is 13. She has permanent damage to her spine because I trusted Coach Patterson. Don't you dare blame the girls. More shouting. Security guards moving toward the aisles. Uncle Chen put his hand on my shoulder. Let's go. We stood, walked toward the exit. I looked back once. My mother was staring at me, not angry, not defensive, just sad. I turned away and kept walking. A week after the board meeting, the district's legal team called Uncle Chen. They wanted to settle. Uncle Chen, Dr. Kim, and I sat at Uncle Chen's kitchen table while the lawyer talked on speakerphone. We're offering $45,000, covers all medical expenses incurred, ongoing therapy costs, no admission of wrongdoing, but the mandatory reforms will be implemented as ordered by the state board. Uncle Chen muted the phone, looked at me. It's not about the money. Do you want to take this? I thought about Coach Patterson's suspended license, about Morrison's demotion, about the new safety protocols, about the 7 families who'd come forward. I want it to be over. Uncle Chen unmuted. We accept. The settlement was signed 3 days later. CPS reopened my case with the new evidence, reviewed everything, closed it again with a requirement that my parents continue family therapy for 6 months. But no removal from home, not needed since I was staying with Uncle Chen voluntarily. My parents didn't fight it. 3 months later, I was living full-time at Uncle Chen's house. New school district. Fresh start. Nobody knew who I was. Physical therapy twice a week for my back. The therapist was honest from day one. This may never fully heal. We're managing, not curing. You'll probably have chronic pain for the rest of your life, but we can make it bearable. I appreciated her not lying. One afternoon, Uncle Chen drove me past the community pool. They have a recreational swim team. No competitions, just for fun. Want to check it out? I hadn't been in a pool in 18 months. We walked in. Chlorine smell hit me immediately, made my chest tight, but in a good way. Familiar. The coach was a woman in her 40s, wet hair pulled back, whistle around her neck. You here for the rec team? Maybe. I used to swim, but I've been out for a while. That's fine. We're not training Olympians here, just people who like the water. First practice, I got in the pool, started swimming freestyle. My right side hurt after 2 laps. I slowed down. The coach walked over, crouched at the pool edge. Take a break anytime you need. We're not keeping time here. I stopped swimming, treaded water, stared at her. Really? Really. I started crying. Right there in the pool. Couldn't stop. I'd forgotten adults could be kind. Therapy sessions twice a month with a woman named Dr. Chen. Different Chen. No relation. She specialized in eating disorders and family trauma. Week 4, she gave me homework. Write a letter to yourself at 13, before gymnastics, before everything. I sat at Uncle Chen's kitchen table that night, blank paper in front of me, pen in my hand, started writing. Dear Doris at 13, I'm sorry they didn't protect you. I'm sorry they made you smaller and quieter and broken. I'm sorry you learned to measure your worth in pounds and points and other people's approval, but you're safe now. You're eating again, swimming again, learning that taking up space isn't selfish. Your back still hurts. You still count calories sometimes without meaning to. You still have nightmares, but you're alive, and that's enough. Love, Doris. At 14 inches. I folded the letter, put it in my journal. Didn't show anyone, but I read it sometimes when things got hard. Robert started visiting every other weekend. He'd drive 2 hours from college, show up with takeout. We'd eat at Uncle Chen's kitchen table and talk about nothing important. Classes, his roommate who never did dishes, my swim practices. One night he said it out loud. I didn't realize how differently they treated us. You and me. I'm sorry I didn't see it. I pushed noodles around my plate. You were just trying to survive too. That doesn't make it okay. He came to my swim meets, sat with Uncle Chen, cheered so loud the other parents stared. Never once mentioned winning or times or how I could improve, just cheered. My parents kept going to therapy. Court ordered for 6 months. Dr. Patel gave me updates, with my permission. Your mother's making progress. She stopped commenting on food and weight. She's learning to catch herself. And Dad? Still defensive, struggles to apologize directly, but he's showing up. That counts for something. I sat in Dr. Chen's office, my therapist, picking at the fabric on her couch. Dr. Patel says they're trying. How does that make you feel? Trying isn't the same as succeeding. Dr. Chen nodded. No, it's not. But healing isn't linear, for them or for you. 6 months after everything fell apart, my parents asked if they could come to a swim meet. Uncle Chen asked me first. You don't have to say yes. I thought about it for 2 days. Okay, they can come. They arrived late, sat in the back row, 3 seats away from Uncle Chen and Robert, separate. I was swimming butterfly, my weakest stroke. My back hurt before I even got in the water. I placed 4th out of 8 swimmers. Not bad, not great. Afterwards, they walked over, awkward, careful, like they were approaching a wild animal. Mom hugged me, stiff, brief. You looked good out there. Dad stood with his hands in his pockets. Keep training. You'll get faster. I looked at him, really looked at him. He still didn't get it. They left 10 minutes later. Said they had dinner plans. Uncle Chen drove me home, Robert in the back seat scrolling his phone. They still don't get it, I said. Uncle Chen kept his eyes on the road. No, but you don't need them to anymore. I stared out the window. He was right. I didn't. What changed at Lincoln High happened slowly, then all at once. They created a dedicated athletic trainer position, full-time staff, independent authority, could override any coach's decision about injured athletes, new mandatory reporting system. Any denied medical clearance got flagged automatically, required 3 signatures before an athlete could return. Doctor, parent, independent trainer, anonymous athlete, feedback surveys every semester, actually anonymous, results posted publicly. They put up posters in every locker room. Athlete Bill of Rights, right to medical care, right to refuse unsafe training, right to report concerns without retaliation. It wasn't perfect, but it was something. Maya and Lex graduated in June. They started meeting monthly at a coffee shop downtown, just the 2 of them at first. Then 3 girls showed up, then 5, then 7. No formal structure, no agenda, just space to talk. Athletes who felt pressure, who got injured, who didn't know if what they were experiencing was normal. Word spread to other schools. Similar groups started forming, small, quiet, but there. 8 months after everything, a teen magazine reached out to Dr. Kim. They wanted an essay about youth sports culture. Anonymous, from an athlete's perspective. Dr. Kim forwarded the request to me. I wrote it in one sitting, 3,000 words, didn't edit much. When winning costs everything. They published it 2 weeks later. The comment section exploded, over 200 responses in the first day. This happened to me in competitive dance. My son's baseball coach did the exact same thing. I'm 32 now and still in therapy for what my gymnastics coach did to me. I read every single comment, didn't respond publicly, couldn't, but I saved them all in a folder on my laptop, labeled it, not alone, because I wasn't, and neither were they. 1 year after the board meeting, I had a swim meet. Local competition, community pool, nothing serious. Uncle Chen sat in the stands, Robert next to him. They'd driven an hour to watch me swim one event. My parents showed up late, sat 3 rows back, separate from Uncle Chen, always separate. I was swimming 100-meter butterfly, 8 swimmers total. I touched the wall 4th. Not bad, not great. A year ago, 4th place would have destroyed me, would have meant punishment, would have meant I wasn't good enough. Today it just meant I swam and my back didn't give out, and I'd get to swim again next week. I climbed out of the pool, grabbed my towel. A girl approached, maybe 13, nervous, wringing her hands. Hi, are you Doris Chen? I stopped. Yeah? I read your article. The one in the magazine. She looked at the ground. My mom wants me to quit soccer for track, but I hate running. I love soccer. How did you say no to your parents? I took a deep breath. Still hard to talk about. Probably always would be. I didn't say no until I had other people backing me up. Do you have a coach or a teacher who gets it? She nodded. My soccer coach. She said I shouldn't quit. Talk to her. Ask her to talk to your mom. You can't do it alone. The girl bit her lip. Were you scared? I looked at her, really looked at her, saw myself at 13. Terrified, still am sometimes. But you did it anyway. Yeah, I did it anyway. She smiled. Actually smiled. Thank you. She ran off. Back to her parents who were waiting by the bleachers. Uncle Chen walked over. You handled that well. I watched the girl talk to her parents, animated, hopeful. I still don't know if I handled my own situation well. Uncle Chen put his hand on my shoulder. You survived. You're healing, that's enough. I looked across the pool. My parents were standing by the exit. Mom waved, small, uncertain. I waved back. We weren't fixed. Maybe we never would be, but I was swimming again, and nobody was timing me except me. That wasn't everything, but it was enough. That evening, I opened my journal. I placed 4th today. A year ago, 4th place would have meant punishment. Today it just means I swam and my back didn't give out and I get to swim again next week. Mom and Dad were there. We didn't talk much. Maybe we never will. Not really. Dr. Patel says I don't owe them forgiveness. I'm still figuring out what I do owe them. Robert called tonight. He's coming to my next meet. That means something. A girl asked me how to say no to her parents. I didn't have a good answer. Just the truth. You need backup. You need witnesses. You need adults who believe you. I'm not fixed. My back still hurts. I still have nightmares. I still count calories sometimes without meaning to. But I'm swimming again, and nobody's timing me except me. That's not everything. But it's enough. I closed the journal, put it on my nightstand. Tomorrow, I have physical therapy at 3 p.m. and practice at 5 p.m. I'm taking the bus myself. Uncle Chen doesn't need to drive me anymore. I think that means I'm doing better. Or maybe just different. Either way, I'm going.